have one announcement to make, and then I have with me a Joint Secretary Europe West, Mrs. Ruchi Ghanshyam, who will speak to you on the topic of the announcement that I have to make. The announcement is about the visit of His Majesty King Juan Carlos I of Spain to India. He will be on a state visit to India from October 24th to 27th, and he will be visiting Mumbai and Delhi during the course of that visit. While in Delhi, the King of Spain will be accorded a ceremonial reception welcome on 26th October, that is his day of engagement, and he will have several other engagements on 26th October. These engagements, of course, will include delegation level talks with the Prime Minister. The President of India will host a banquet in his honor, and we will have several calls and meetings which will be explained by my colleague. As you are aware, perhaps, India and Spain have approximately a $5 billion bilateral trade, and this represents a growth area as far as bilateral trade is concerned of about 18% over the previous year. And Spanish investment in India is about $1.3 billion, and Indian investment in Spain is about 605 million euros. We hope that the visit of the King of Spain will carry forward the process of high-level interaction between our two countries and deepen the relations. With that, I have nothing further to announce, so I will ask Joint Secretary Europe West to speak a little bit about the visit and then respond to any questions that you may have on the forthcoming visit. Over to you.
Thanks, Akbar. And thank you all for coming here today. JSXP has just given you the brief outline. I think he left the various calls in Delhi to me. So these will include the call by Honorable Vice President, by Honorable PM, call by the Honorable Chairperson of the DA, and Honorable Leader of the Opposition in the Lok Sabha. His Majesty will leave Delhi on 27th October. Accompanied by senior cabinet ministers as well as a team of Spanish businessmen from the infrastructure, transport, services, energy, industry and technology sectors. Discussions will focus on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. Given the strong economic delegation accompanying His Majesty, discussions are likely to have a strong economic and investment related focus as well. As JSXP already explained, that India and Spain have a bilateral trade close to $5 billion, which represents a growth of almost, this was in 2011, and it represents a growth of almost 18% over 2010. Spain has been a reliable partner in terms of investments as well. Spanish investments in India amount to over $1.3 billion, while India also has investments of around 605 million euros in Spain. Some discussions may also take place on the defense sector. India and Spain have common concerns over terrorism. Spain has also suffered terrorist attacks, for example, the March 2004 attack on a crowded commuter train in Madrid. Both countries are concerned about the threat of piracy. Spain is dealing with the debt and Eurozone crisis, which has also affected a number of countries in Europe, as well as also many countries around the globe. However, Spain is a $1.3 trillion economy with a broad industrial base and strengths in a number of areas of interest to India. India and Spain also have a very good, robust vibrant ongoing cooperation in the area of culture. There is a lot of interest in Indian culture in Spain. The Spanish royal family has a long and abiding interest in Indian culture. The Casa de la India is a unique platform for dissemination of Indian culture in Spain. The Cervantes Institute promotes Spanish language in India. The 6th India-Spain Tribune meeting was recently organized in New Delhi by the Indian Council of Foreign Affairs. So these are some of the important areas that bind India and Spain together. The visit of His Majesty is expected to give a fillip and a further boost to our bilateral relations with Spain. Thank you.
We will begin with questions on the visit of King Juan Carlos, and then anything else that you would like to ask. So, questions on the visit, please. Mr. Venkatnarayan.
Do we have any plans to get Picasso's La Guernica from the Madrid Museum and organizing a Spanish festival in India? A lot of people read Cervantes, Don Quixote, childhood, anything connected with that. You see a lot of Spain in films, Tamil films and all that, but are you doing anything about that?
I don't think I would be in a position to comment on what the Spanish embassy may be planning to do in India. There is a lot of ongoing activity which I have outlined, and the visit of His Majesty would surely encourage further exchanges in the cultural arena between the two countries.
Hi, I'm Paris. I have a couple of questions. One of them is India and Spain are discussing the debt crisis. In that case, what would be the Indian advice in this moment? And secondly, I would like to know if India has any comment to do about the perspectives in the Basque Country and Catalonia, because when we have regionalist leaders talking about referendums, and the same thing is happening now in Scotland. But I don't know if India has an official position on these issues.
The Eurozone crisis is an important crisis that is engaging the attention of world leaders. So as I mentioned that we would be very much looking forward to the perspective of Spain and how Spain is dealing with this. As for internal issues in Spain, I don't think I would like to comment on that.
Yes, Ajit. Just a minute.
You said that the Spanish royal family has this long and abiding interest in Spain.
This is not His Majesty's first visit to India. He was the chief guest at the Republic Day celebrations in 1982. And prior to that, they have made private visits as well. So they take a lot of interest in India. It is not a, it's not a hidden interest. They have a lot of interest in India, and this helps in cementing the two nations, the two peoples together.
Could you elaborate a little bit more why Mumbai?
Why would the Spanish side choose to go to Mumbai is, well, that would be speculating, so I don't know if I should really be commenting on that. All I would say that Mumbai is an important commercial center of India, and His Majesty is accompanied by a strong economic and business team.
Yes, Elizabeth.
You mentioned that there would be some talk of cooperation in the defense sector. So what kind of cooperation do we have? Do we have anything at this point, and how we plan to take it forward?
There is some ongoing cooperation, but I think it would be it would be incorrect for me to go into the details of what kind of defense areas we would be maybe discussing about. It's a little premature at this stage for me to get into the details.
What ongoing cooperation?
Yeah, just a minute. Geeta, everybody gets a chance. Please say. Yes, we do.
You also spoke about concerns both countries have regarding terrorism and piracy. What is the kind of cooperation that we can expect in terms of terror cooperation and cooperation with regards to piracy?
See, we are talking to a number of countries on international cooperation on terrorism, and India and Spain will also definitely look at this issue, which is an issue that affects everyone around the globe.
Yes, now. Yes, please speak into the mic.
What is the ongoing defense cooperation between the two countries?
Well, you will have, I think the best thing is that the areas of cooperation at this stage are very minimal. The idea of what she was trying to indicate was that there will be discussions because the defense minister is here in the team, and the outcome will be provided to you when we have an outcome document of the visit. So at this stage, we do not want to further add to what is available in the public domain on that. Yes, ma'am.
So have they raised this, I think they are part of this consortium, areas on MMRC. Have they raised this issue with India? Has Spain raised this issue with India? On the MMRC, because Germany has already said that it's not a close for them.
I mean, if I can mention, the last time we had high-level consultations was when External Affairs Minister visited Madrid. I think it was in April sometime. At that stage, this issue did not come up. And if your question is further that whether they will raise it, I think you'll have to wait for the answer to that.
Thank you, sir.
I understand that you have finished questions on Spain. If you have questions on anything else, yes. Okay, we start with those who didn't ask. Manish. Everybody will get their chance, sure.
In a week's time, over a dozen foreign ministers from Indian Ocean countries will be in the capital. Are we looking at some bilateral meetings, and which are these bilateral meetings? Point meeting, I'm sure they must be evolving at this point.
Yes, there are likely to be 10 foreign ministers who will be here, in addition to other deputy ministers and other officials. And our understanding is that while we are working on it, we should be having bilateral meetings between the External Affairs Minister and all those who are visiting here and who ask for those meetings. We are still some way into that, but we will let you know. It's most likely that he will have meetings with all the visiting foreign ministers. I do not have the details now, but I will provide it to you by email. That should not be a problem. Yes, ma'am.
Where is the US Japan bilateral dialogue? Is it just to host?
That's right. This would be the third trilateral dialogue between India, Japan and the US. The first one was in Tokyo last year in December, I would think. The second was in Washington in April of this year, and this would be the third dialogue. We're still working out the details of when it will be held, and once we decide on that, we will certainly communicate to you. Yes, it would be in Delhi, yes. Yes, Vijay.
What's your view of about the meeting of the British High Commissioner General Bevan with Mr. Modi and the great interest that Britain is showing for investment in Gujarat?
Well, if a diplomat accredited to India meets an elected Indian Chief Minister, I don't think it's in the province of the Ministry of External Affairs to comment on that. So I don't want to get involved. I think the best people who would comment on this, what we consider to be normal diplomatic intercourse, would be those who are involved in that. But this is normal as far as we are concerned in terms of a diplomat getting in touch with elected Chief Minister of State. That's where they are. As regards investment, we are an open destination for investment anywhere in India. Yes, ma'am.
Have Australia and Indonesia expressed any desire to change name of IOR? And secondly, what the procedure of inducting three countries as dialogue partners?
Yes, what you said, there have been some informal soundings on this in terms of, and this is likely to be one of the topics that will be discussed at the next meeting in Gurgaon. As regards the induction of dialogue partners, the process will mean that all decisions on these matters are taken by consensus. That means all the 19 members will discuss this matter and decide upon that. And if the subtext to your question is that whether the United States has requested for such a dialogue partner status, my answer is yes, and this would come up at the next meeting in Gurgaon. Yes, Ajit?
So what is the current status of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit?
Can you repeat it? I didn't get you the rest of your question. The first one I did get.
Have the Russians discussed the possibility that the president will be visiting India 2 months in
Yeah. As you are aware, in 2000, as part of our strategic partnership, we've agreed with the Russian Federation that we would have annual summit meetings. The next summit meeting, that is this year, would be the 13th such summit meeting. This is not to say that this was the only form of interaction we have at a senior level, because during the course of this year, the then President Medvedev had come to New Delhi for the BRICS summit, and then there was a bilateral interaction. Also, Prime Minister and President Putin were both in Los Cabos, and both had a short interaction. Now, coming to the question about the visit. Yes, we've already made that announcement to you that President Putin is expected in New Delhi on 24th of December. The question, again, and I will confront it directly, is it's not unusual for President Putin to have, or the Russian president to visit Delhi during that time of the year. For those of you who are following India-Russia relations, you would know that every summit after 2000, whenever a Russian president